Mary Margaret Olohan is one of the rising stars of the Beltway journalism cadre. She's shooting up in everyone's esteem, and she's everywhere, and she's working harder than anyone her age should be working. Mary Margaret, welcome to the Hugh Hewitt Show. It's great to have you on. I want to begin by asking you the first two questions I ask every first-time guest. I hope you're back often. The very first question is, was Alger Hiss a communist spy?
Hugh, it's so great to be here. I'm a fan. I'm honored to be on this show, and it's an exciting time to be in politics. I mean, look at what's going on around us, and I think maybe possibly the best time in my lifetime to be a journalist. We have all kinds of things going on domestically, but also internationally, and as a White House journalist, there's just so much freedom of press. We can roam around the White House, we can roam around all these events, question the president when we can, question Caroline Leavitt, have access to all these administration officials. So I'm having fun. It's kind of like a big political playground.
President Trump clearly likes you. That's a good part of being a White House reporter when he calls on you. But I noticed you didn't answer the his question. Are you going to take a pass on that one?
I'm going to take a pass on that one for now.
Okay, you've got to go look that up. Good young reporters need to know he was indeed a communist spy. Second question, have you ever had the chance to read The Looming Tower? It might be older than you are, but it's the most important book on the Wahhabist Islamist movement in the world. Any chance you've read that yet?
I haven't. I'm going to have to check that out.
No, you will love The Looming Tower. Now, Mary Margaret, tell me what your day is. First of all, are you a Northern Virginia Catholic, a Beltway, a D.C. Catholic, or a Maryland Catholic?
Oh, I am a deeper Virginia Catholic. I I live in the Virginia area, but I grew up out near the Shenandoah Mountains with some great salt to the earth Catholic homeschoolers, so I know the area very well. And I love DC, but during COVID I decided I didn't want to live in DC anymore, so I decided to retreat to the outskirts to Yunkin country, and I've been pretty happy there.
Do you make the commute? Do you make that commute every day? Oh my goodness, that is dedication. That's dedication.
It takes me about
so
25 minutes.
Well, that isn't bad. I was hoping to run into you at early morning mass. I'm a 7 a.m. mass guy, but you will not be at my parish if you're that far outside of the Beltway. Let me ask you this. What do you think of Pope Leo thus far?
I'm hoping to see more that can give me a more solid opinion of him. I was very excited about him at first, and some of the recent comments that we've been hearing from him, I'm a little perplexed by. We have a long history of popes commenting on American politics, and especially with Pope Francis, I think he jumped in at inopportune moments, I would say, and didn't really weigh in on a lot of the issues that many of us, and I'm sure you, Hugh, had with former President Joe Biden and his affinity for abortion and different issues that very much contradicted Catholic teaching. So Pope Leo, I know he's kind of waded in a little bit, and I think his recent comments showed that he realized maybe he shouldn't be, and he said he's not going to weigh in on American politics as much. So I'm hoping to see more from him. I'm a little disappointed so far, but hoping to see more that we can
there is. In my balancing, there's more good than bad, but I'm waiting for the first consistory because a couple of American bishops are owed red hats, and we're going to see whether or not Pope Leo comes through with that, and we'll keep our eye on that. Now, tell me about when you're younger at the White House press corps. Do you get elbows in the ribs, or are they willing to give you your shot? Because as people get older, they hate to see that they're getting pushed aside by the bright young people.
Well, I will say I do get elbows in the ribs, and I was not expecting that. And I mean literally elbows in the ribs. You can get pushed around in there. For example, there was recently an event where I was in the press pool, which means I was able to, go into the Oval Office that day, and we're supposed to have better seating and standing access to the events. And so, it's time to go up the stairs into the White House for this event, and I had to literally push my way through the crowd because no one would let me go. That's how feverish the press interest is in these events lately. And I will say that was the day that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was at the White House, and so there was a lot of foreign press as well. But it is chaotic over there these days, and I think that the press that I have met, that there are the typical White House press corps, they've been fairly kind to me. There's one or two that have been rude, and At the beginning, I think there was an apprehensive attitude towards newer media like the Daily Wire, like myself. But, my goal in there is to work hard to show people that we care about the truth, that we have just as much a right to be there as they do. And I'm happy to say that I've been treated pretty well, and I think we're doing a good job, and I hope we can continue to do so.
The Daily Wire is actually beating the heck out of the legacy outlets, and you're part of the reason for that. Would you take me back to Catholic University? I know you went your undergraduate there. I think President Garvey was your president when you were there. Yes. What did you study? Because you've absolutely, shot up the journalism ladder. What did you get ready with?
Well, I come from a long line of English majors. My grandmother was one. My father was one. I am one as well. And I read a lot of English literature in college. I read a lot of English literature in middle school and high school. And I didn't totally know what to do with myself because I knew I loved writing, and my family has lots of writers in it. But when it came time to decide what to do professionally, I worked at Regnery Publishing for a little bit, which I love. Tom Spence is one of my heroes, the former publisher of Regnery. And while I was there, the Kavanaugh hearings happened, and I was completely radicalized by the way that the media handled all of this, and I decided I would far rather be an active part of the news and writing news than just reacting to it and seeing how things go and having to, quote these biased or left-leaning or just straight-up false pieces of news that I was seeing go by. And so I took a little leap of faith and I applied to the Daily Caller News Foundation, and by an act of God, they accepted me and taught me how to be a reporter, and here we are today.
Just be careful of that Cher character down in Tennessee. I know him pretty well, and I just be very careful of him. I wanted to say,
He's a big fan of yours.
Well, he's a good guy. We really like Brett. I wanted to say one thing. I'm so happy that there are young Orthodox Catholics in the business, because it's not really, you're not going to run into many of yourself, are you? There just aren't a lot of us in the business.
Yeah, I think it's rarer and rarer these days to find people who are very serious about their faith, but I would argue, especially Catholics, it's hard to find people who are really serious about their faith. But I will say, in D.C., I think we're blessed that there are some notable figures that have really lived lives that are very virtuous, and they've strove for excellence, and I find them very impressive. And it's nice to stumble on them once in a while and to kind of realize, one of us, they're out there and they're here. And I have some.
I used to think Ryan Anderson was the kid. I used to think Ryan was the kid. Now you're the young person, so Ryan is graduated to middle age. Mary Margaret Olohan, I hope you keep coming back. Continued good success in the White House as you get to interview everyone. I hope you're on Air Force One to Korea if that's in the cards and Brent lets you go. Thank you, Mary Margaret. Follow her over on X at Mary Marg Olohan, and it's spelled Mary Marg, M-A-R-G, O-L-O-H-A-N. Give her a follow. Follow her work. She works at the Daily Signal. She knows what she is, Daily Wire. She knows what she is doing, and boy, she is doing it well. Don't go anywhere, America. I'll be right back on